I worked the front desk at a Finnish spa outside Helsinki. An American family walked in, mom, dad, 2 teenage sons. They'd booked the traditional sauna experience. I explained the dress code. Swimsuits in the mixed sauna, naked in the gender-separated ones. The mom's face drained of color. Naked? She whispered, like I'd suggested ritualistic sacrifice. With strangers? I nodded. It's how saunas work here. Very normal. The dad leaned in, dead serious. We're Christians. Blinked. So are most Finns. He shook his head slowly. American Christians. We have standards. They demanded the American sauna, whatever that meant. I explained we only had Finnish saunas because we were in Finland. The mom asked if we had towel wrapping rules. I said you'd sit on a towel but don't wear one. She gasped like I'd described a crime scene. They wore full swimsuits into the separated saunas. Complained the whole time that everyone was staring at their modesty. No one was staring. Everyone was trying not to laugh. Another American told me our spa was basically a sex club or a municipal health facility. Grandmothers do aqua aerobics here. One more thing. The dad left a review warning other Americans about our European nudist cult agenda. We're literally just finished this channel. Isn't about culture clashes. For shock value, it's about revealing how differently the world actually works when you step outside one country's bubble. If that distinction matters to you, subscribing is how you stay on the inside of these stories. I lifeguarded at Barceloneta Beach for 3 summers. American tourists panicked over topless sunbathers weekly, but one woman took it further. She marched up to my stand, pointing at a Spanish grandmother, sunbathing topless, reading a novel. That woman is naked. Arrest her. I explained topless sunbathing was legal and common in Spain. The American woman's face turned purple. It's indecent exposure. Where I'm from, that's a crime. You're not there. You're here. She demanded I cover her up with a towel. I explained I couldn't force clothes onto strangers. She threatened to call the police. I welcomed her to try. She did. The police arrived, looked at the sunbather, looked at the American, and explained Spanish law to her in broken English. She insisted American law should apply because we invented freedom. The officer stared at her. Spain is older than America. Most travelers assume their norms are universal. Subscribers here don't make that mistake. If you're paying attention to the deeper pattern beneath these stories, you already know why staying subscribed gives you the edge. She called the American embassy. They didn't answer. She spent 30 minutes writing down badge. Numbers of police officers who refused to enforce decency. Topless grandmother never looked up from her book. The American left a TripAdvisor review demanding Spain adopt modest beach policies. She suggested bikinis. In Catholic Spain, for a topless grandmother. My uncle owns a lakeside cafe in Bavaria. Families swim there all summer. Most Germans sunbathe topless or fully nude on certain sections. It's marked with signs. Very organized. Very German. An American couple showed up with their daughter, maybe 10 years old. They set up near the nude section despite multiple signs in English. Within minutes, the mom started shrieking, "There are naked people." In front of my daughter, my uncle explained they were in the designated naturist area. She could move to the clothes section 20 meters away. The dad interrupted. We shouldn't have to move. They should cover up. My uncle pointed at the signs. The dad said, "Those signs are in German." "They don't count," my uncle replied. "You're in Germany." The dad said his daughter was traumatized. The daughter was building a sandcastle, completely unbothered. The mom demanded everyone put on clothes. My uncle explained he couldn't enforce that in the nude section. The dad threatened legal action for child endangerment. My uncle asked if he was threatening German citizens on German property for following German law. The dad said American standards should apply in civilized countries. A naked elderly German man walked past eating an ice cream cone. The American mom screamed. The German man waved politely. They packed up and left, muttering about European perverts. The daughter asked why they had to go. She liked the lake. I manage a wellness center in Amsterdam. We have traditional Dutch saunas, mandatory nudity, co-ed, no phones, pure relaxation. Rules are posted in 6 languages, including English. An American man checked in for a day pass, signed the waiver without reading it, then came storming back 10 minutes later wearing a towel. People are naked in there. I confirmed that was correct. He said he didn't consent to seeing that. I showed him the waiver he'd signed. He insisted it should have been more obvious. I pointed to the 3 signs he'd walked past. He said they weren't aggressive enough with warnings. You need flashing lights, sirens, something. I asked if mandatory nudity in bold wasn't clear. He said that could mean anything. I struggled to imagine what else it could mean. He demanded a refund. I explained our no refund policy for signed waivers. He said he'd sue for discrimination. Against who? Against clothed people. I paused. You're discriminating against yourself? He said forcing nudity violated his rights. I explained he wasn't forced, he chose to enter. He said the choice was under duress because he'd already paid. I reminded him he paid after reading the rules. He claimed the rules were hidden. They were on the front page of our website. The booking confirmation, the entrance sign, and the waiver. He threatened to contact a lawyer about our anti-American policies. I wished him luck. He left shouting about European nudist propaganda. A Dutch woman in the sauna asked what happened. I told her. She said, Americans are so weird about bodies. She was 73 and completely unbothered. I worked at a public pool in Stockholm. Our locker rooms are communal and open standard for Sweden. Everyone showers naked before entering the pool. It's a hygiene rule. Signs explain this in multiple languages. An American family arrived, 2 parents, 3 kids. The dad refused to shower naked. I explained it was mandatory. He said he'd shower in his swimsuit. I explained that defeated the hygiene purpose. He said American pools allowed it. I told him this wasn't an American pool. Where's the private shower? We don't have those. His face went red. So you're forcing public nudity? We're requiring hygiene. You're in a locker room. Everyone's the same gender. Said his sons shouldn't see adult men naked. I asked how he thought locker rooms worked. He said American ones have private stalls. I explained Sweden doesn't. He demanded we install stalls immediately. I declined. He asked for the manager. I was the manager. He said he'd complained to Swedish authorities about forced exposure. I gave him the phone number for the municipal recreation department. He called while standing there. They explained Swedish pool regulations. He argued American regulations were more advanced. They hung up. He made his sons shower in their swimsuits anyway. The lifeguard stopped them at the pool entrance, explaining they hadn't properly cleaned. The dad exploded, yelling about discrimination. Other Swedish families stared. His kids looked mortified. They left. He posted on an American expat forum warning others about Sweden's mandatory nudist culture. Several Swedes responded, explaining it was just basic hygiene. He called them brainwashed. My sister runs a gym in Lyon. The locker rooms have open showers and changing areas normal for France. An American woman joined, toured the facilities, signed up, then freaked out her first day. She called my sister, whispering urgently from inside a bathroom stall. There's no privacy in the locker room. My sister explained French gyms typically don't have private changing stalls. The American said that was insane. My sister asked how she thought women changed at gyms. The American said in private, like normal people. She demanded my sister install curtains. My sister explained that wasn't structurally possible or necessary. The American said she'd change in the bathroom stalls then. My sister warned those were only for toilets. The American said she didn't care. She changed in bathroom stalls for a week, backing up the toilets for everyone. Other members complained. My sister asked her to use the locker room properly. She refused, citing privacy rights. My sister explained those weren't French rights. The American said they were universal human rights. She started a petition demanding private changing areas. She got 0 signatures. She accused other gym members of accepting oppression. A French woman told her, "It's just bodies. Relax," the American said. "That's what perverts say." The French woman laughed and walked away. The American complained to French consumer protection authorities about forced public nudity. They sent a form letter explaining gym regulations. She claimed discrimination against modest people. My sister eventually refunded her membership just to end it. The American left a review calling the gym a nudist colony disguised as fitness. It's a regular gym. In France, I work at a high-end spa in Oslo. We have a strict dress code. Robes in common areas, nothing in saunas and pools. It's posted everywhere. An American couple booked a premium package. The woman arrived wrapped in 3 towels, like armor. She refused to remove them in the sauna. I explained towels trap bacteria and defeat the sauna's purpose. She said she wasn't getting naked around strangers. I told her everyone else was naked. That was the point. She said everyone else was wrong. Her husband joined the argument. In America, we respect personal choice. I said, in Norway, we respect communal hygiene rules. He called me authoritarian. I pointed out he'd voluntarily entered a private business with clear rules. He said the rules were unreasonable. I asked why he'd booked a traditional Norwegian spa if he opposed Norwegian traditions. He said he didn't know it would be this extreme. The word naked appeared in our brochure 11 times. She sat in the sauna wearing towels, sweating profusely, clearly uncomfortable. Other guests asked her to follow the rules. She refused. My manager asked her to leave or comply. She demanded a refund. We offered a partial refund minus services used. She wanted full. You discriminated against my modesty. You violated our health policies. She threatened to sue for religious discrimination. I asked what religion required towels and saunas. She said, Christian modesty. I noted many Christian Norwegians used our spa naked without issue. She said they were culturally brainwashed. They left. Posted reviews on 6 platforms about our anti-American nudity enforcement. One review claimed, we force nudity on Christians. We're a spa. In Norway, with standard Norwegian spa rules. Several Norwegian reviewers responded. Confused why Americans booked Norwegian experiences then complained about Norwegian customs. The strangest case was a couple at a Copenhagen bathhouse. It's famous, historic, beautiful, traditional Danish bathing culture. Mandatory nudity. They knew this. They'd researched it specifically. They still showed up in swimsuits and got upset when turned away. We thought it was optional. The sign said, mandatory in English. They claimed mandatory could mean recommended. I asked in what universe those words were synonyms. The man said in America, rules are more flexible. The woman said they'd come all the way from California. I said we appreciated that, but it didn't change Danish bathing rules. She asked if we made exceptions for tourists. I said no, that would be discriminatory against Danes. She said discriminating against tourists was bad business. I explained we weren't discriminating, we were applying equal rules. She said equal rules were inflexible. I agreed they were inflexible, which was the point. He asked if we had a modest alternative. I said yes, not entering. They demanded a refund. They hadn't paid yet. They complained to Copenhagen Tourism about anti-American policies. Tourism replied with a fact about Danish bathing culture. They called it propaganda. Dang. Posted a blog warning Americans about Copenhagen's aggressive nudity culture. The comments were mostly other Americans confused why they'd gone to a mandatory nude bathhouse if they opposed nudity. Some said, just don't go. Radical concept. Here's the thing. Europe isn't forcing nudity on anyone. I'll keep documenting these cultural contradictions, but the people who subscribe, they're the ones who avoid becoming the next main character abroad. If you think with context, not assumptions, you belong here. These are clearly marked optional spaces. If you don't want to be naked, don't enter places where nakedness is required. But don't enter those places, refuse to follow the rules, and claim oppression next time. Americans versus European escalators. Somehow, they're controversial.